Hi, I'm Bill Bradley. Join me for a recent excerpt of American Voices. Here on American Voices, we celebrate all that this country has to offer. So after hearing about people's life stories, we also want to celebrate the land. So each week we invite authors and artists to talk about a favorite place in the country. This time, author Helen Sheehy is back. She's the author of Just Willa. Here's Helen Sheehy on her favorite place.
This is Helen Sheehy, and my favorite place in America is Saddleview Farm in Bethany, Connecticut. I grew up on a farm in Oklahoma surrounded by cattle and riding horses, but I left that farm at 18 to go to college. And I was happy to leave because farming and that life is just extremely hard work and chores. But then years later, when I'm 70 years old, I got on a horse again and I was transported and I thought, why have I stopped doing this? So I live in Connecticut. And I didn't really, I mean, I did entertain the idea for a while of maybe I should buy a horse, but then I decided, no, that's probably not a good idea. So I found this place and I found Saddleview Farm and it reminded me of Freedom, Oklahoma. It reminded me of where I was so happy when I was a kid visiting my cousin in Freedom. And it's only 9 miles from my house in Hamden, Connecticut. But when I get there, it's like I've traveled over 1,500 miles back to the farm where I grew up in Oklahoma. So then I never stopped. One of the ways I got back into writing is the way you write around here is usually you work with a trainer, someone or an instructor, and I worked with an amazing trainer, Montana Lambrecht. She's been a horsewoman all of her life. She grew up in a family of horse people riding registered Morgans. Now she has a thoroughbred that she barrel races on. She was a wonderful instructor, and I had never been instructed in riding at all because if you grow up on a farm in Oklahoma, you're just thrown on a horse and you just ride. But she brought me back to the basics. She taught me in a very, very safe way on a beautiful, beautiful horse that was totally super broke and super trained. And it was very safe. I never felt afraid. It was just a joy because it was always kind of a safe experience. And the horse was so gentle. But one of the things you do have to know if you're riding is that horses are big creatures and they have feelings and sometimes they have off days. And sometimes you have to say, you know what? I think I'm going to get off today because she's not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And so I listen to myself when that happens. So when I got back into writing, I always had been very physically active. So I swam laps, which kept me flexible. I'm playing tennis a lot, so I'm strong. I pretty much have good balance. So that was good. And also when we're doing the writing lessons, it's gentle. You start in slowly and you are doing this over a period of time. I think getting back into writing was a couple of things for me. I I've always been kind of competitive person, especially with tennis. I'm a competitive player, but what I've learned from swimming is that sometimes it's just great to relax and just be in the moment. And what I brought to writing was the idea that what I really loved about Saddleview was just that feeling of feeling like a kid again, a kid that just you had all the time in the world. It's different. For me, it was different than going to have a tennis lesson, for example, where I'm really working on my game. I really want to get better. But when I went to Saddleview, when I go to Saddleview, it's not about that. I mean, sometimes I just go and hang out with the horses. I don't have to constantly be doing something. There are times when you can just, like, I'm on the trail with Trigger, we're out in the woods, and sometimes we will just stand there and listen. He will snack on the grass, and I will just listen and relax. And then we'll say, okay, now we're going to tackle that hill. It's a change of perspective that I think there's this sense that you always have to be improving yourself in some way or getting better or being this or being that. But with this farm, with these horses, it can just be enjoying that place where you're a kid again. Remember that feeling you had when you're a kid that the day was just endless, that time didn't exist, that you're just there and it seems forever. And I'm not striving for anything. It's a break from all that, especially if you're around horses, because to be around horses, you need just to be calm, get centered, and there's no talking. My communication with the horses, Mud and Trigger, it's just wordless. It's just a few little clucks, few little sounds, maybe my knee pressing. It's so lovely. I was a rodeo queen for this little tiny rodeo. So I always thought, hey, I can do this. I can ride a horses. I can ride whatever. I was fearless. Now but I don't have that kind of ego where I think, oh, I have to prove that I can do this or do that because I know that I'm not. I know that I wasn't trained at all to do this. I was just, thrown on a horse and did it the way we all did it. And there's no pressure now. That's why I love it so much. Trigger. Trigger. Trigger, do you love that grass? Huh? You love it? Nothing better than grass, right? Good boy. Good boy. Better than that dry log, huh?
That was Helen Sheehy. She's the author of the novel Just Willa. Thank you for listening to American Voices here on my YouTube channel. For more interviews celebrating the goodness and creativity of the American people, click the subscribe button below.